Hey, let me go ahead and speak to the age-old conflict and stuff and try to answer a question here for a second. And of course, that question is this. You know, we often try to figure out, and we often wonder why. How in the world can we allegedly come from the same mother and the same father, and yet and still, when truth is presented to us, why come we all on a different vibration? Why come we do not all think the same thoughts, especially concerning the faith? And of course, the answer is already in the scriptures, is in the Bible. You see, because many of us, we're believing that we actually come from our parents, since this father and this mother biologically contributed to our existence. And we never think about how, as opposed to us coming from our parents, we actually come through our parents. And then most of us, you know, we're so confused, wondering how come I can accept this truth and why my same blood, they don't get it. Why come they don't get it? Well, listen to me very closely. Let's go back over here to the patriarchs of the Hebrews, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Listen very closely. You had Jacob and Esau. And of course, you know, everybody is talking about Jacob and Esau. Everybody is talking about Jacob and Esau. And yet when you read the scriptures, it says that there was two manner of people. Listen to me very closely. Two manner of people that was in her womb. And yet you had one that was actually chosen for the seed of the seed. Now, that's the reason why, as Israelites, as Hebrews, you know, you're going to have to, I can't give you this thought, but you do know when truth is said, it begins to resonate with you. Light bulb goes on. I don't open your understanding. It's the Ruach that opens up your understanding when you hear truth presented to you. Like, man, ain't that the truth, though? That's the reason why in family you can have conflict, because we're all on different wavelengths, different spiritualities, because it's the father, the one who chooses. Even though they were both Hebrews, Jacob and Esau, only one was chosen as the seed because he come through and not so much as from, like we think today. Now you have to understand that revelation right there, because then you'll begin to understand how is it that many of us, or it seems like that they're a generational skipping and stuff. Because look, and let me use my culture for instance. Here in this country, a lot of blacks in this country call themselves African American. Well, I don't call myself African American, and some of our people deceivably, in their ignorance and deception, call themselves Jews. Well, I'm not a Jew either. So, see, we're on two different wavelengths. We got two different spiritualities going on here, two different understandings, two different vibrations, because they're coming from something where I'm speaking through a particular spirit that actually comes from me. Because I ain't no African American. I'm just a flat out Hebrew, and I'm an Israelite. I'm not a Jew. I'm an Israelite. And there's a difference. See, so people accept designations based on the spirit that is in the blood. And most people don't understand that the reason why most of us, we think so chaotically and so psychotic and so foolish. And the reason why we don't understand is because we have had our blood watered down by other nations. And when you intermingle blood from other nations, you're bringing in other thought processes that are mixing in with the blood. That's the reason why that I can feel a certain way about a certain thing and you don't. For instance, if I see a white cop whooping on a black woman on the side of the road, there's something that goes on inside of me. There's something seriously that resonates with me. And I pray to y'all that I never ever have to run up on a scene and see something like that, because something is going to click inside of me. No laws in this land is going to prevent me from doing what's in my spirit. But see, that's what the world does. They seek to control your mind through false knowledge and false theology and false perception. And that's the reason why some of us can't behave and can't do and be the people who we ought to be. I hope that I'm making sense to some people out there. And that's why I often say, and you hear me if you watch me any length of time, that I'm a Hebrew. I just think differently. My thought, it processes differently. Just the other day, you know, it's still up on the wall. I live in a racist county, and there's this F niggers. And of course, most people would perceive that through an alternate paradigm. When I look at it, I go, now why in the world, because of the way I think, I go, why in the world would these people who are so racist want to sodomize, do such an abomination to people that they hate? I mean, is there something seriously wrong that I don't understand of these people? Most people would perceive that differently. Well, that's the reason why most people can't come to the commandments, the knowledge of it, and they can't worship the Father. You know, Jacob and Esau, two nations, and they could not, neither one of them. You know, it was hard for one to understand the other, even though they came from the same father, but they didn't have the same spirit. Even though they had the same natural blood, they did not have the same spirit. So most of you functioning based on where you come from. That's how you live your life. That's how you think. Your process is whether who you came through. Well, I came through the Father, Almighty Yahweh himself. So you'll never hear me accepting some of the labels that other people put up on themselves. We need to really truly think in the hour that we're living in, because the mind is a terrible thing to waste, and some of our minds have just been flat out wasted. I mean, literally wasted. There's hardly anything left to it, if any at all. It's just a sad situation. How that rather than, you know, us being educated and educating ourselves, we've been trained. This cosmos, this earth, was already in place before you and I came here. Now you ask yourself a question, because one of the greatest threats to this world is somebody who knows how to think independently. You ask yourself the question, do you really truly think independently? Are you able to use self-autonomy when information is presented to you, and do you have a particular spirit, the spirit of truth, that actually speaks to you, that cuts on the light bulb when you hear it? That's the reason why with 7.5 billion people on the face of this planet Earth, you're only going to get a remnant that's going to understand, perceive, and believe. That's all there's to it. And it's up to us to be able to come together. And of course, I'm going to say this again. Stop putting your money in resources that doesn't do nothing but destroy your substance. And let me get back on the road. I'm on the road, Sister Carol and I, all right now, and we got a long way to go. And so it's probably going to be an extraordinary amount of videos out. My hope is that you would take these videos, put them out there on a social media network, and give other people the opportunity to think, talk about these things, and see what conclusions you come to. Talk about it on Skype. Talk about it on Facebook. Talk about it on MyTube. Talk about it on Twitter. Talk about it on all these different places and stuff. Get it out there. Because I believe, and I know for a fact that I have the spirit of truth. That's why I speak the way I speak, and it's hard for people to resist the wisdom that is coming. Oh, they can make a bunch of noise, but pay attention. Not to the noise, pay attention to the sound.